Growing up, my anthem when it came to my relationship with my mom was, "That will never be me." Don't get me wrong, Mom was great in a lot of mom ways, but mostly she was just so uncool. For example, 8th grade. I was on the bus to come home from school, focusing all my energy on keeping my head above water and maintaining some level of coolness, which, let's admit, I didn't have in the first place with my mullet that emphasized cowlicks in all the wrong places, and my homemade gray A-line skirt with the uneven hem. I didn't dress like Madonna till the next year. There was a disturbance in the long line of buses, some yelling. Why did something shift uncomfortably in the pit of my being? Because it was a voice I recognized and a name. Yoo-hoo, Angie! Is Angie Sage on this bus? It was my mom, going from bus to bus, pounding on the side and asking if I was aboard. Everyone else ran to look out the windows, while I stared straight ahead as if I heard nothing. But there was no ignoring this maternal hurricane, raining down a torrent of mortification. I was further horrified to discover that she was wearing her gardening clothes. That is, muddy, paint-stained overalls, heavy work boots, and her old, puffy, brightly colored high school ski jacket. And just to make sure my level of humiliation was at DEFCON 1, she had twigs in her hair. Sticks, people. Actual pieces of tree in her hair. Did I mention the overalls? Evidently, I had a dentist appointment she'd forgotten about, so she'd come to fetch me. I would rather my teeth have rotted out of my head on the spot. The next day at school, everyone wanted to know if that was my mom. I know, right? So embarrassing, I said. That was my Aunt Martha. She is from out of town. I would never, I promised myself. That'll never be me. Never mind that now I'm the weird lady in the corner house that yells out the window at the neighborhood kids, "Get out of the road! The street isn't a playground! I'm telling your mother!" And yes, I do name names. And I'm the weird lady that goes to Lowe's, Target, or Aldi in slippers, paint-stained pajama bottoms, and glitter in my hair. From Oprah's website, do you run errands in your pajamas? Are your husband's sweats a staple in your wardrobe? If the answer is yes, you may be a schlumpadinka. I, like my mother before me, am a schlumpadinka. And while we're on the topic, a key element that influenced my life philosophy is my mom's underwear. Really, I felt it morally reprehensible that Mom bought her underwear at Kmart and not at regular enough intervals. You know. I concluded early on that someone's underwear says a lot about her view on life and her self-respect. How Dad seemed hopelessly in love with her despite the state of her cheap and tattered unmentionables was beyond me. I promised myself that fancy, expensive underwear without holes or drooping, sagging elastic would be my top priority as a woman. Sexy, lacy lingerie would be a wardrobe requirement. So now that I'm a grown and married woman, wow, look at the time. You want me? I should just keep going. Yeah, well, we'll just move on. Okay, good. Mom was enthusiastic, exuberant, and encouraging. Let me translate that for you in teenage girl speak. Embarrassing, exasperating, and intrusive. I'll never forget the day that I got my first period. My mom cried. I'd heard about all the things my friend's mom had done, took them shopping, had the sex talk, or my personal favorite, tastefully ignoring the situation. Leaving my friend to blissfully, privately fend for herself with a couple of bucks and her own trip to the drugstore where she could buy pads and M&Ms. Oh, not my mom. She cried, hugged me, looked at me with those sappy mama eyes, and told me how proud of me she was. Then cried some more and proceeded to get on the horn and tell all our family and friends. All I can say is, thank God we didn't have smartphones then, or the moment may have been immortalized on YouTube. Who am I kidding? She wouldn't have known how to use the smartphone. But crying, really? For something so mundane, that would never be me. Of course, the other day, my husband walked through the living room where I sat weeping. "Did a hat drop?" he asked. "Our dog is just so sweet," I blubbered. "Got it." He kept walking. Okay, so every promise I'd made to myself about not being like my mom has been completely shattered. Deeply caring what total strangers think about how I present myself when running last-minute errands. Making sexy lingerie a top priority and maintaining my cool, all out the window and long gone. Now, with my paint-stained schlumpadinka pajama bottoms and saggy ripped underwear, laughing and or crying, as my husband says, at the drop of a hat, I can't think of anything more cool than to be just like my mom. Living life to the fullest, not being beholden to my undergarments. Feeling deeply sweet or tender moments, no matter how simple they might be. I guess when it comes to my mom, I can only hope I'm just like her.